good evening. How are you all? So yes, we are here with the theoretical section of the SSC examination. Here we are going to discuss reproductive system, where we are covering the SSC's theory part and yes, previous year's question as well. So without any delay, let's start with our session. First of all, let's discuss about this reproduction. What is it? See, reproduction is that process in which we are actually giving birth to our younger ones in order to continue our race. For example, if we are humans, we are giving birth to a baby child who is a human, that is, we are continuing our race. In the similar manner, you can consider the example of a dog, you can consider the example of a pigeon, that is a bird. So anything, you can consider the example of anything, they are giving birth to their younger ones and hence they are continuing their race. Now, if I talk about this reproduction, it is actually of two different types. Which one? One is asexual, another is sexual. Now, what's the difference between two? Apart from that, we as a human is using which mode of the reproduction? Then, who are the other organisms who are actually using another method which we are not using? So, we'll be discussing all those things now. First of all, let's discuss about humans. Humans actually sexually reproduce and they are viviparous. What does it mean? If I talk about humans, we directly give birth to our younger ones. We don't consider the step of laying eggs. But if you take some of the other examples, where you can take the example of a snake, you can take the example of a hen, there what happens? They actually bring a concept in between, that is of laying eggs. But we as a human don't lay eggs. We directly give birth to our younger ones, correct? So we can say that we are what? We are actually reproducing sexually. Now what's the difference between sexually and asexually? In sexual reproduction, we need two people, that is of opposite sex. One would be male, one would be female. We have actually used this symbols to represent it. But if I talk about the case of asexual reproduction, then there only a single parent is required. So this is the basic difference between two. So yes, we have Shubham over here, Bhavna over here. Good evening. How are you all? How are you? So yes, we were talking about humans. So humans reproduce sexually and are viviparous. Now if I talk about this reproductive events, so it is actually with the formation of gametes, and this process is gametogenesis. Now you must be wondering, sir, what? Gametogenesis? What is it? Let's understand. If I talk about this gamete, what is it? For the males, if I talk about this gamete, so we can say that for the males, we have sperm cell, that is we can talk about a father, who from where sperm cell came. If I talk about female, from there we received egg cell, that is we can discuss about ovum over here. Oh, so Pankaj is here. Hello Pankaj, good evening. How are you? So what I was talking about this gamete. So what is male gamete? Male gamete is actually sperm. What is female gamete? Here you can take the example of a ovum or a egg cell. Now, what will happen when there would be the fertilization of these two? This fertilization will lead to the production of zygote. Now, how this is going to happen, I will tell you. But this question is previously asked. Male gamete and female gamete produces what after the fertilization? So here zygote is formed. So Udbhav has joined. Hello Udbhav, good evening. So remarkable differences between the male and female reproductive events. Now what are those particular parts of males and females reproductive parts? We will be discussing that. But we have to discuss about asexual reproduction as well. Now if I talk about this asexual reproduction, what is that? Here only and only a single gamete is required. Only a single, or I'll say single parent is required. Fine. So yes, new offspring is generated by a single parent. There are no such male and female concept over here. Just a single parent is required. Now you must be wondering, sir, what? Just by a single parent? Yes. Now how is it possible? I can take the example of this part. Just have a look. You can consider the example of a cell which is actually trying to divide, and here you can see that nucleus splitting into the two parts, and here it is actually splitted, and yes, here actually cell is trying to just generate its whole part, and finally it is divided into two parts. So from a single parent, here two of the just have a look that it is actually divided into the two parts, that is here baby is formed, correct? But this is the case of asexual reproduction where only a single parent is required. So new individuals produced are genetically and physically identical to each other. That is, we can say that they are clones of each other. This cloning concept is very important. When we are talking about clones, we can take this example. Fine. That is, they are identical to each other. Now, if I talk about the types of reproduction, so what all can be the types? In examination, it is asked which among us the following is the part of asexual reproduction. So you can take the examples of budding, then binary fusion, which is done by actually euglena. Fine. So yes, there's a division like this, that is binary fusion. Then there is budding, fragmentation, vegetative propagation, sporogenesis. All these are the examples of asexual reproduction, one of the type. But if I talk about humans, we talk about sexual reproduction. So yes, let's discuss about the sexual reproduction. So as I already told you, if I talk about its mode, what is going to happen? Fusion of haploid female gamete and the male part. Now what is this haploid? Let's understand this. Haploid. Can you tell me, if I'm talking about haploid, how many chromosomes will be there? Because this is going to give you the clarity. Then I'll tell you what exactly is haploid and what exactly is diploid. So it would be clear to you all. Can you tell me the total number of chromosomes which are there in the haploid? Yes or no also can be the answer. Are you aware of this answer? Yes or no, so that I can go in the depth accordingly. Pankaj, Udbhav, Shubham, Bhavna, anyone, are you aware of this part? How many chromosomes are there in the haploid part? The number. Because why I'm asking this question again and again? Because this question was asked previously. So this will give you clarity, and whenever in the examination you will face this question, you will directly click on the correct answer. Remember, whenever we are talking about the chromosomes number in our body is actually 46. True? From where we have received this? Obviously from our father and mother. If I'll talk about father, then that means we are talking about male gamete, where we'll talk about the sperm, that is mentioned over here, sperm cell. If I'll talk about mother, that is, we are talking about egg cell, that is, we can talk about ovum. True? So it is mentioned egg cells. Now, if I talk about the haploid means what? I can just divide it into the two part. One is for male, one is for female. That is, here I can talk about the 23 of them, and similarly 23 of them from the sperm cell. 23 is from the female gamete, that is egg cell, and 23 is from the male gamete, that is the sperm cell. But what will happen now? Now fertilization will take place. How this fertilization takes place, we are going to have that discussion one more time in the detailed manner with all those diagrams. Let's try to understand here. 23 and 23 will make what? 23 plus 23 will make your 46 chromosomes. And yes, the same thing is representing here. That is your diploid zygote. I told you. Sarika has joined us. Hello Sarika. Thank you Sarika for the same. So what I was saying, I was actually talking about this diploid zygote. What is it? We were discussing that whenever fertilization is there, that means we are talking about the sperm and the egg cell, which was creating zygote. Now, 23 here, 23 here, that is, we are talking about haploid. Remember? And here it is mentioned that 46 chromosomes will be there. 46. So Abhishek has joined. Hello Abhishek. Ram Ram ji. Jai Shri Krishna. So yes, when I'm talking about this 46 means that we are talking about diploid. So this is the difference. Haploid, we are talking about half of them, 23. Diploid, double, correct? Di, 23 plus 23, 46. So this is the thing. Now, when I'll talk about the process of fertilization, what is it? We have already discussed, it is actually a natural process in which sperm cell is actually meeting the egg cell. Now, from where we get this egg? We actually get this egg from this ovary part. And just have a look at this part. This is actually the fallopian tube, the part where actually your fertilization takes place. It is asked in the examination. Where does this fertilization takes place? So fertilization takes place actually in the fallopian tube. So let's have a look. If I talk about the fertilization is actually a natural life process where fusion of both male and female gametes, which results in the formation of zygote. Where it actually occurs? This occurs in the fallopian tube. So I am writing, this is the location where fertilization actually takes place? This is the question which is asked in the examination, so you must not forget. I'm putting double star over here. Now, humans, if I talk about the humans, process of fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube. Very, very important point. Do not forget. So we have understood how this fertilization is taking place. So Satyam has joined us. Hello Satyam, how are you? So yes, Satyam, we were discussing about the fertilization over here, and it takes place in the fallopian tube. Next. So here, what is actually happening before this fertilization? So we have sperm cells which are generated from the male. So the motile sperms, we are talking about the movement of the sperms, correct? So yes, if I talk about the movement of the sperms, they pass through the cervix and enters into the uterus. Just have a look. If I talk about the cervix area, this is actually the cervix area, and from here it enters this uterus part, and this is the location where actually the generation of baby is taking place. Fine. So yes, okay Satyam, fine. So what I was saying, if I talk about the motile sperms, they are entering through the cervix and finally reaching the uterus, which is actually the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. This is the ampullary region of the fallopian tube, and we were aware of that this is the location where this process was taking place, that is known as fertilization. Here only the sperm actually meets the egg. So yes, this is the fertilization. Now if I talk about this process of fertilization, if I talk about the female part here, so female is releasing what? Egg cell. We call that ovum, correct? So here, egg cell is released by female, sperm cell was released by male. Here, egg cell and sperm met, and where they met? They met at the location which is known as fallopian tube. At this fallopian tube, this zygote was formed, and finally this zygote is converted into the embryo, and hence the development of the baby takes place. So what all things we can take from here? The things which are important for the examination are, first of all, we must be clear with the haploid and diploid, that is clear to us. Then the number of chromosomes, that is clear to us. 23 is taken from the male, 26 from the female, and then 46 is there in the zygote, and finally we have those 46 chromosomes, or we can say 23 chromosomes. From where this particular, what is that location where this fertilization is taking place? That is actually your fallopian tube. So all these things are important. Let's come to the female's part. Ovum is released by the ovary and transported to the ampullary region. Now what will happen? In the process of fertilization, the process of fusion of a sperm with an ovum takes place. That is, the sperm and the egg cell are actually fusing together and finally forming the zygote. This is fertilization. Haploid nucleus of the sperm and that of ovum fuse together to form diploid zygote. So I don't think so that you are having any confusion right now regarding this haploid and diploid. Again I am saying, haploid, that means we are talking about 23 of chromosomes over here. Again, if I talk about this diploid zygote, that means we are talking about 46 chromosomes with this zygote, because 23 is with the father, 23 with the mother, and 46 with the baby. So is this clear till now? Because now we will be having discussion on the male and female sex organs. So is this clear? Because this is going to be very, very beneficial, because directly questions are asked from this region. And one more thing, when we were talking about that fallopian tube, please remember, whenever that fallopian tube part is actually cut, this process is known as tubectomy, and it is used for controlling the population. So yes, let's move to the question now. The process of release of ovum from a mature follicle is called what? Is it fertilization? Is it spermatogenesis? Is it ovulation, or none of the above? So the process of release of ovum from a mature follicle, what is it? Is it fertilization? Is it spermatogenesis? Is it ovulation, or none of the above? Satyam, Abhishek, Sarika, Udbhav, Pankaj. Hello Sudesh. Namaste. How are you? So Sudesh, there's a question. I guess you joined quite late. Waiting for the answer from everyone. Satyam, Udbhav, Sarika, Pankaj. If I talk about the fertilization process, what was it? Here, sperm plus egg cell were combining, correct? In which region? The region was fallopian tube. I guess you remember, everyone? You remember these things, correct? So yes, fertilization was that process. If I talk about the spermatogenesis, this is actually the generation of a sperm. But when I talk about the ovulation process, this ovulation process is the process of release of ovum. So here, in this case, option C will be correct. And yes, option number C is the correct answer. So the process of release of ovum from a mature follicle is called ovulation. Is it correct till now? So yes, Abhishek, you are totally correct. This is actually ovulation. So I guess these things are correct. Fine. Understood. Now moving to the next part, if I talk about the reproductive organs of the males, just have a look. Where is it located? This is located in the pelvis region, which includes what? It includes a pair of testes. That is, there are two testes. Just have a look. One is here, one is here. Now, apart from that, there are axillary ducts, there are glands, and there is an external genitalia. Now, the question can be asked about the numbers. It is actually asked in CGL. I have just kept the question after this female part. Then we'll understand. This number is also even asked. Fine. So, we must be aware of these things. Now, if I talk about the sperm producing tubes, these are actually located in the testes itself because the sperm's production is actually done from this testes part. Yes, moving forward. If I talk about scrotum, what is it? This is actually a sac-like structure where we have testes present. Now, why is it far away from the body or why is it hanged? There's a reason behind it. See, for the generation of the sperm, we need an optimum temperature. Now, what's that? Whatever temperature of a body is, let's see who will give this answer. What's the normal temperature of a body? Normal temperature of a body, when we say that we are perfectly fine. Who can give me this answer? This question is from physics part, no doubt, but everything is related to each other. We are science students. So yes, my question is, what is the normal temperature of the human body? So that we can totally understand what is the role of this scrotum actually. What is the normal temperature of human body? Who can tell me? What's the normal temperature of a human body? There must be some temperature, isn't it? So is it 30, 32, 35, 37. What is it? Not sure? So if I talk about the human temperature, yes, Nikita, that's totally correct. That is 37 degrees centigrade. And if I talk about the Fahrenheit scale, it will go to 98, correct? Now, I'm not discussing those decimal parts. I'm just giving a rough estimate. So whenever we are talking about the production of the sperms, these actually takes place when its temperature is actually lesser than 2 or 2.5 degrees centigrade than your body. So yes, since it is away from the body, so this temperature lies lesser from 2 to 2.5 degrees of your normal temperature, and this helps in the production of sperm. So testes are situated outside the abdominal cavity with a pouch, and this pouch is actually known as scrotum. Now, it is helping in maintaining the low temperature of the testes, which are necessary for spermatogenesis. Now, what is this? I have just explained about it in the previous question, where spermatogenesis is the process of the production of the sperms. So yes, there's a temperature which is required and it is done by this itself. Male sex axillary ducts includes the testes, vasa differentia, epididymis and vas deferens. So all these are the things which are present here. Now, if I talk about this vas deferens, from this word vas itself, you can relate one more thing. When we talk about the cutting of part where we actually tie it with the nylon thread so that sperms doesn't pass through it, this process is known as vasectomy. Why it is known as vasectomy? Because this vas word is derived from it. We can directly write, if I talk about this vasectomy, it prevents the sperms to come out from the body. Fine. So yes, in the females, we call that tubectomy because fallopian tube was actually tied. Here we are talking about vasectomy because here we are talking about these vas differences. So yes, this was the point. Now, in male reproductive system, the testes are situated outside the abdominal cavity within a pouch, which is called what? So this question is from CGL 2017. Which of the following options would be correct? Is it glands? Is it scrotum? Is it testicular lobules? Or is it seminiferous tubules? A, B, C, D. What will be the correct answer? What will be the correct answer? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Glands. B is for scrotum. C is for testicular lobules. D seminiferous tubules. So yes, that's 100% true, Nikita. If I talk about option B, that is totally correct. Now, moving forward. If I talk about the reproductive organs of the females, so the female reproductive system consists of what? There's a pair of ovaries and oviducts. That is, we are talking about these ovaries from where actually the egg cells, or we call ovum, is actually released. So egg cells are released from this ovary part. Apart from that, there's a single uterus, cervix, vagina, the external genitalia, which is located in the pelvic region. So its number is actually asked in the examination. We must remember that. Now talking about the ovaries. These ovaries are the primary female sex organs which produce the female gamete, that is known as ovum, and several steroid hormones. We call them ovarian hormones. It is located on each side of the lower abdomen. Just have a look. If I talk about the body, so this ovary is located in both the sides. This is also the ovary. So it is located on both the sides, one at one side. So yes, it is located one on each side of the lower abdomen. Now, if I talk about this oviduct or fallopian tube, what is it? This fallopian tube is actually a location where fertilization takes place. Which fertilization? Fertilization where we talk about the combination of egg cell and the sperm cell. Egg cell which is released by the ovaries, and sperm cells which are actually released by the testes. So its combination takes place at the fallopian tube, and we say that uterus and vagina constitute the female axillary ducts. Uterus is actually single, also known as womb, and this womb is the location, or uterus is the location where the development of the baby is actually taking place. Fine. So we all have actually taken place from uterus or womb. So yes, the shape of the uterus is like an inverted pear. So this shape is actually like an inverted pear. Next, we have already discussed about the fertilization. We have discussed about the male reproductive organs. We have discussed about the female reproductive organs. Now, when we are talking about that reproductive process, please remember, first of all, we discussed about this zygote, which is actually converted later on. Finally, we say that fetus, that is the small baby which is in the body of the mother. That baby takes place, baby actually takes food from some of the pipe-like structure. What is that? Please remember that pipe-like structure is actually placenta. I'm writing here. That pipe-like structure is actually known as placenta, from where baby gets the nutrition. Baby gets nutrition from this placenta. We can say that baby is actually fetus. So yes, let's move forward now. When that baby is formed, we have already discussed, if I talk about the number of chromosomes, they are 46 in nature. Fine, this is the number. In morning, I discussed one more thing. I don't know how many of you were there in the class that time. What is autosome? Who can tell me about this autosome? Again, when we are talking about those chromosomes, these are thread-like structures. Even the autosomes will be the same part, those thread-likes, but its quantity is asked in the examination. Can anyone tell me? Nikita, Abhishek, Sudesh, Satyam, anyone? What is the quantity of this autosome? This is asked in the examination. And in the examination, we are given with the options 46, 23, 22 and 44. So what will be the correct answer for the same? What is the number of autosomes? Need answer from everyone because this is asked in the examination. I don't want anyone to be wrong here. It is the important one. Yes. See, whenever we are talking about autosomes, that is, we are discussing here removing that XX or XY. That means we are removing these two or these two, because it depends actually we are baby girl or baby boy. If I'll remove these two, then how many will be left? There would be 44. So please remember, 44 is actually the number of autosomes, and 2 are actually determining the sex, whether she is a female or whether he is a male. So here remember, autosomes number is 44. When two more are added, that is sex determining part here. So Deepak has joined us. Hello Deepak, how are you? When two of them are joined, they make 46, and this is known as chromosome. But till now, chromosome. So yes, till now we have understood one thing. What? Whenever Deepak has given answer. Great, Deepak. Good. So yes, what I was saying, when we are talking about these things, this makes us clear. So when you are talking about the numbers, we are aware of. If there is XX, this means we are talking about baby girl. When we are talking about XY, when we are talking about XY, that is, we are talking about a male. Now, who will define whether it would be a baby girl or whether it would be a baby boy? So here, let's have a look at this part. If we are getting one of the X from here and one of the X from the male, this means in this condition, there will be XX. This means here we are going to get a baby girl. But if we get, I'll choose the color blue. But if we get X from here and Y from here, so XY, this will lead to what? This will lead to a baby boy. So this is the thing. Here you can take the example where actually a female is not the part of the game where it is determined whether it would be a baby boy or baby girl. It is determined by the male. So whenever someone says, oh, this daughter-in-law is actually in such a manner where her baby girl only takes birth again and again. It's good that you are getting the daughter. Daughters are always awesome. Please remember this point. And also remember that there is no issue with your daughter-in-law. Here actually it depends upon the male which particular chromosome will reach, and accordingly there would be either baby boy or baby girl. So it totally depends on the male or the male sperm where it determines the sex of the child. Very important part. Fine. So it is actually the male which is determining it. So yes, I was talking about the chromosomes. We are aware of there are 46 chromosomes. And if I talk about this sex determining part, we have understood XX, XY. Now, what if someone is having the issue with this X and Y? This is known as chromosomal abnormalities. What kind of abnormalities it may be? Let's have a look. What if I say that when we are talking about XX, it is clear. We are talking about a girl. If I'm talking about XY, that means I'm talking about a boy. What if I get one more X? So this is the condition where a girl gets extra chromosome over here, and this is a abnormality. This is for the girls. I'll be showing you with the diagram what kind of abnormality is it. In the similar manner, if I talk about XXY, so it's very obvious that we are talking about a male over here because it is XY. So this condition takes place in a boy where there is one more chromosome, and this condition is known as trisomy. What is it? It is trisomy, where you can relate. Zome means what? Zome means we are talking about the chromosomes. Tri means we are talking about 3. Now there's one more condition where there is only a single X. There's only a single X, which is actually known as monosomy. Remember, this condition is monosomy. Now you can relate it with the name itself. When I'm talking about zome, this means I'm talking about chromosomes. Mono means 1. So this thing is very, very important. These are actually the abnormalities and we are talking about them. So how they are caused, what are the issues with this? Is there any other name apart from this trisomy, monosomy that is actually given? Let's have a look. Fine. So yes, till now, is there any doubt? Deepak, Udbhav, Nikita, Abhishek, Sudesh, Satyam, anyone, is there any kind of doubt which is left? So please let me know, because we are proceeding with these particular issues which are known as abnormalities. Abnormalities. So yes, waiting for the response from everyone. Is there any issue or any doubt which you want to ask? Because till now we have understood everything. Male reproductive organ, female reproductive organ, then we have discussed about the fertilization, and we have also understood about this chromosomes. This is with the normal one, and here there are some abnormalities. Now what are they? We'll be understanding about this. Let's start. When I'm talking about this X and Y chromosomal abnormalities, this means we are talking about the abnormalities with the chromosomes. True? So your chromosomes may suffer damage or change in the number because of several factors. It may be because of environmental radiation. It may be because of the type of food we intake. So it's very important. You must have a proper food. Fine. So yes, kind of food we intake. Apart from that, internal genetic conditions. So these are the conditions because of which this issue may come. Now, the changes in X and Y chromosomes lead to certain syndromes. What are they? We understood. Single X, XXX and XXY. What are they? Let's have a look. First of all, if I talk about X and Y chromosomal abnormalities, if I talk about Turner syndrome, it affects the females and it arises due to missing X chromosome. Now what will happen? For the females, we were aware of, here we have XX chromosome, correct? What if I say that one of the chromosome is actually missing? Which will lead to what? This will lead to just a single X. Now this single X means we are talking about a single chromosome over here, and since it is single, so I'll write mono. Since we are talking about chromosomes, so I can write zome, and I'll directly write now monosomy. So monosomy means that one of the X is missing. Now what will happen in this condition? Just have a look at this girl where there is a low hairline, there is the fold in the skin. Apart from that, there are small fingernails, then there are brown spots. So these brown spots, small fingernails, low hairline, fold of skin, all these issues may come when there is a single chromosome. And the most important thing, as already told to you, this comes when there may be environmental radiation, there may be improper food intake. Apart from that, those hereditary issues, so internal genetic issues and all these things may occur. So remember, monosomy, it leads to low hairline, fold of skin, small fingernails and brown spots. Next, let's talk about Klinefelter syndrome. Now what is it? If we talk about the Klinefelter syndrome, this occurs mostly in males. We have already discussed. If I talk about this XY, here we have an extra X, that is extra chromosome. Now someone may ask you, what is the genotype of Klinefelter syndrome? So remember, the genotype of Klinefelter syndrome is actually your XXY. Now what will happen in this condition? Children are unusually tall for their age, have reduced facial and bodies hair, smaller testes, enlarged breast and the hoarse voice. So these changes comes in the male. Just have a look. Here there is a poor beard growth, that is beard doesn't grow properly. Apart from that, they lose chest hairs, there are less chest hairs. Then breast development may take place. Then there is osteoporosis. That is, what is osteo? Just have a look. Osteo. This osteo word is actually related with the osteoblast cells. Osteoblast cells which are present in the bones. Similarly, if I talk about the osteology, this is the study which is related with the study of bones, and hence this means this issue is also related to the bones. So in bone, what happens? There is actually weakened bone. Fine, there are actually spores, they can easily be broken. So this osteoporosis means there would be weaker bones. So we have already discussed, children are unusually tall for their age, have reduced facial and body hair, there are less hairs, where we have discussed about the reduction in the chest hairs and even the poor beard growth. Then we can talk about the testes size, they actually become smaller, and they have enlarged breast and the hoarse voice. So they have hoarse voice. So this is the issue in the Klinefelter syndrome, which mainly or mostly occurs in the males itself. So yes, this was all about the Klinefelter syndrome. Let's have a look. The genotype of Klinefelter syndrome is what? So we have just discussed about it. Let's have a look who gives the correct answer. Everyone. I'm waiting for the answer. The genotype of Klinefelter syndrome is dash. What is the correct answer? Waiting for the answer. Everyone. And yes, everyone who has joined, kindly like this session and share it. Waiting. So who all are present right now, kindly give your attendance so I can directly chat with you, interact with you. So who all are present over here? Is Udbhav here? Is Deepak here? Is Nikita here? Is Abhishek here? Is Sudesh here? Satyam? Who all are present right now so that I can just start conversation with you, as we are going to discuss the previous year questions right now, which were asked previously from the same topic. Yes. Who all are present right now? Kindly give your attendance. Just tell about your name. Who all are present right now? So yes, we have Udbhav. Okay. So what we were talking about the genotype of the Klinefelter syndrome, the syndrome which actually occurs in the males, where we have an extra chromosome X. That is, here we talk about XXY. XY is normally present, which is there in the male. Here X is extra. So if I'll talk about the genotype, it will be XXY. So is there any option? Yes, option is there. That is which one? Option number C. So yes, option number C is correct. That is XXY. Next, if I talk about the way in which humans actually reproduce, so is it sexually, is it asexually, or by any means sexually or asexually, or none of the above? So who will give this answer? When we are talking about the humans, we are aware of what? Whenever we'll discuss about the humans, this means we are talking about the sexual reproduction, because in the sexual reproduction, two of the parents are required. Two parents are required. One is male, one is female. But when we talk about the asexual reproduction, there's only a single parent that is required. But this is not possible in the case of humans. True? So that's why we'll say that humans are reproducing sexually, where two parents are required. If I talk about asexual methods, what are they? It can be budding, correct? Then sporogenesis, correct? Fragmentations. These all are what? These are the examples of asexual reproduction. But if I talk about sexual reproduction, here you can take the examples of humans. Next, before moving forward, we have an example official application, which is actually a one-stop solution for the government job aspirants. What all you will be getting here? Here you will be getting live paid courses with the test series. Apart from that, free subject-wise and topic-wise quizzes with the report card. Then you have job alerts, admit cards, and examination dates. Then you will be getting all exam previous years PDFs with the solution. Yes, you are also having the free All India scholarship test with the scored card and the report card. Then here, if I talk about the topic-wise free live classes, you will get free full length and sectional test with the report card. Apart from that, there is free exam-wise PDFs and practice set PDFs. Then we have daily, weekly, and monthly current affairs. And the most important thing, you are going to have the unlimited subject-wise practice set questions. So all these things are actually there at the one stop. What is that? That is our example application. From where you will download it, you can just directly go to the Play Store. Go to the Play Store. This is step 1. Second step is to type example, search it. You will be getting this logo and these things. Just click on the install part. Then go to the example application, in which, before moving to the application, you have here open button. Just click on the open button. Then you can start doing your registration. Give your name and basic details, just basic details. Register it and start using it. And once you start using it, you will be getting all those things which you actually wanted. We have just discussed. So yes, this is the important announcement. And one more thing, your UP SSC PT examination is near. You can get this test series at just ₹1. No need to give 999 rupees and that huge amount. Just at ₹1, you will be getting 10 full length test series, section test for every subject, live discussion of full length test, just at ₹1. How? Just use the code PET99 and get 99% off. It's a huge discount. At just ₹1, you will be getting this test series. Okay, then let's move forward now. Ovulation is induced by which of the following hormones? Is it luteinizing hormone? Is it TSH? Is it adrenaline? Or is it pitocin? So let's see who gives this correct answer. I'm talking about the ovulation process. Ovulation process, where we talk about the production of what? Whenever we talk about the production of these egg cells or ovum from the ovary, that means we are talking about the ovulation. So ovulation is induced by which hormone? Which hormone? We discussed about it, correct? So yes, waiting for the answer, everyone. What will be the correct answer? Yes, Udbhav, Deepak, Nikita, Abhishek, Sudesh, Satyam. What is going to be the correct answer over here? Okay, so when we are talking about the ovulation, that means we are talking about the females, and females, this is actually induced by the luteinizing hormone. And remember, these questions are repeatedly asked, so do not miss any of this question. Fine. Next, the structure which provides vascular connection between the fetus and uterus is called dash. Now, we have discussed this part when I was talking about the development of the baby. When baby actually develops, we are knowing that we actually develop from the womb of our mother. That means baby actually develops in the womb. Now when it actually develops in the uterus part of the womb, there must be something because of which the baby is actually taking in the nutrients, correct? Baby must be feeling hungry and all. Now how actually those important nutrients are entering that body? So here fetus gets all those important materials through this placenta. So the structure which provides vascular connection. Now you must be wondering, sir, what is this vascular connection? When I'm talking about this vascular connection, please remember we are talking about the intake of, or even we can talk about the outtake as well, or outgoing process as well. So yes, important nutrients are taken from this, and this example will also come in the plant physiology where there are vascular tissues, where we take the example of xylem and phloem, which are helpful in the taking in and out of water and food. So this water and food are actually transported through that part. In the similar manner, nutrients in the baby is transferred through this vascular connection, which is known as placenta. So option number B will be the correct answer. Next, dash helps in the locomotion of human sperm. So if I talk about the movement of the sperms, so there must be something because of which these sperms are able to move. True. So these sperms are actually able to move because there is flagella that is present, and this flagella is actually helping in the movement of these sperms. Next, in the absence of fertilization, the corpus luteum dash. So if I talk about this fertilization process, what is it? Fertilization process is the one in which sperm cell, sperm cell and egg cell, that is we are talking about the ovum, they actually fuse together. What is that location? That location is the fallopian tube in the females. So fallopian tubes in the females is the location where sperm cell and egg cell actually fertilizes, and they are forming zygote. Now if this fertilization doesn't take place, now what will happen? In this condition, corpus luteum actually degenerates. So the degeneration of corpus luteum takes place in the absence of fertilization. So let's move forward now. Next question is, Turner syndrome affects due to the missing dash. Turner syndrome, it occurs due to missing what? So we have discussed about this Turner syndrome, remember? So first of all, I will be requiring the answer, then I will be telling you. Turner syndrome occurs due to missing what? Turner syndrome. Who will tell this answer? Turner syndrome occurs due to the missing dash. We discussed one of the thing, what? Normally, if I talk about XX, this is present in the females, that is girl. If there is XY, this means this combination is in the boy. But there may be the condition in which one more chromosome may come, or I've written it actually wrong. Wait, it would be, yeah, XXY. So here you can relate in this manner. So here we have an extra chromosome, correct? So here we have 3 chromosomes right over here. Now what are they? In this condition we call it as a trisomy, as where we have 3 chromosomes. What if we have XX or XY, but in spite of having them, we are having only one, that is just X. I'll write it with the red pen. If there is just X, it will lead to what? It will lead to monosomy. So yes, these are the 3 conditions which are quite different. So when we talk about the Turner syndrome, there's the missing X chromosome, that is there's only a single X which is left, and this is actually, you can say that it is monosomy, or you can say that it is your Turner syndrome. So yes, here option number A would be correct. Now talking about this exam for official application, this is the important application where it is the one stop of all the solutions of all your problems. You will be getting all the solution over here. You will be getting live paid courses with the test series, free subject wise and topic wise quizzes with the report card, job alerts, admit card and the examination dates. All examination previous year PDF with the solution. You can attempt all India scholarship which is free with the report card. Then topic wise free live classes, free full length and sectional tests with the report card, free exam wise PDFs and daily practice sets. Then you will be having daily, weekly and monthly current affairs, and no doubt you are also going to have the unlimited subject wise practice questions. How you are going to download it? Just go to the Play Store, type example over here, click on the install button, click on the open part, go with the registration part, just do the registration and start using it. So this is the one stop of for every solution. Yeah. So now, a multicellular organism grows by what? Now this question is from CGL 2017. When we are talking about a multicellular organism, this means we are talking about organism which is having more than one cell. Multicellular organism. Now this multicellular organism grows by what? Is it cell addition? Is it cell explosion? Is it cell implosion? Or is it cell division? Please remember, whenever we are talking about the body's growth, that means there will be division in the cell. So yes, here option number D is correct. That is cell division. Now, before moving forward, is everything clear to you all? Who all are present right now? Kindly give your attendance. I'll be waiting for you all for the attendance part. Who all are there? Kindly give me your names. Who all are present? So kindly give me your name, because we are having all the previous year questions right now so that we can discuss in the super fast manner. And these are important ones. All of them are asked previously. So yes, who all are one who are present over here right now? So we have Udbhav, Deepak, Nikita, Abhishek, Sudesh, Satyam. Yeah. Okay. So yes, we were talking about the cell division. Next, there's a question. In females, the ovaries are located on dash on each side of the lower abdomen. Now this is from 2017. If I talk about the females, when we'll draw that inverted P-like structure, one ovary is here, one ovary is here. That means what? One on each side. True? So just have a look. What question has asked? In females, the ovaries are located dash on each side of the lower abdomen. Dash on each side. That is on one side. How many ovaries are there? Don't click two. On one side, there is only one. So yes, one on each side of the lower abdomen. That means option number A will be correct. Kindly do not go with the wrong answer. Yes, option number A, that is 1 is the correct answer. Next. In females, the uterus is dash. Now, if I talk about the number of uterus, so if I talk about the ovaries, they are 2. Fine. One on each side. But uterus is a single one. So here option number A is correct. And it is the location which was known as womb also, correct? Where our body actually generated. So moving forward to the next question. In each testes in a male reproductive system, there are dash compartments called testicular globules. Now this question is from CGL 2017. What is the number? Is it 150? Is it 200? Is it 250? Or is it 300? Now, this question is actually important one, because this is not only asked in CGL. Apart from that, it is also asked in the CHSL and CPO exam as well. So yes, this plays a significant role. It may be asked again. So please, So please remember, here in each testes in a male reproductive system, there are actually 250 compartments. So here option number C will be the correct answer. Next. The dash are the primary female sex organs that produce the female gamete, that is ovum, and several steroid hormones, that is ovarian hormones. This is the question from CGL 2017. Now, if I talk about the primary female sex organs that is producing the female gamete, that is ovum, and several steroid hormones, so we discussed it in the female reproductive section. What? Whenever we are talking about the production of ovum or female gamete, haploid, remember 23. So it actually comes from where? It actually comes from the ovaries. So here option number C, that is ovaries, will be the correct answer. So the ovaries are the primary female sex organs that produce the female gamete and several steroid hormones. So option number C will be the correct answer. Next. What are male gametes called as? Now if I talk about the male gametes, we are aware of what? If I talk about the male gametes, that means we are talking about sperms. When we talk about the female gamete, we talk about those egg cells. So yes, that's true. that sperm is going to be the correct answer. And from where they are generated? They are generated from the testicles, that is our testes. Yes. So here option number C is correct. Next, in unicellular organism, all the functions are digestion, like digestion, respiration, reproduction are performed by how many cells? Now just have a look. We are talking about unicellular organism. That is, they are having just a single cell, correct? So unicellular organism, all the functions like digestion, respiration and reproduction are performed by how many cells? Just a single cell. That is option number 1 will be correct. Now, if I talk about the chromosomes, chromosome consists of what? So remember, chromosomes actually consist of the DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and the proteins. So DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and proteins will be the correct answer. And yes, we have option number C over here. So option number C is correct. Next, which chromosomal combination is responsible for maleness in the male? In the men. If I talk about the male, that means we are talking about the XY, and yes, option number D would be correct. If I talk about XX, this means we are talking about the females. Next, DNA fingerprinting is used to identify what? So DNA fingerprinting can be used for identifying the parents, for the thieves, then rapists. So yes, all of the above would be the correct answer. Hence, option D is correct. Next, what determines the sex of a child? Now, we are aware of, if I talk about the sex determination of a child, here female doesn't play any significant role because they are already having XX. But it's the male who is having XY, so it totally depends. From male, X is going or Y is going. If X will go from the male and female is giving X, so X and X will give birth to the female child, that is baby girl. If from the male Y comes and female is having X, so this means we are giving the birth to the male child. So it totally depends on the males. So Happy is here. Hello Happy. So Happy, are you ready? Are you ready for everything? Okay. So yes, we were talking about the sex determination. So yes, chromosome of father plays a significant role, and hence option number A will be correct. Now, moving forward to the next question, a test tube baby means what? So if I talk about a test tube baby means we are talking about IVF. What is IVF? In vitro fertilization. And in this in vitro fertilization, we are actually starting development first, and then the baby is actually transferred to the uterus. So here, embryo fertilized first, and it is developed in the uterus. So option number C is going to be your correct answer. Sorry. If I'll talk about the fertilization process, so fertilization is in vitro, that is in vitro fertilization, and then it is actually baby is transplanted into the uterus, and hence option number D will be correct. So sorry over here. Here option number D will be correct. That is, again I am saying, whenever I'll talk about the test tube baby, in vitro fertilization, it would be in vitro. That is, fertilization process has taken place. Now the baby will be transplanted into the uterus. So yes, fertilization is in vitro and then transplanted into the uterus. Next, if I'll talk about the hybrid between the horse and donkey, it is what? So hybrid between horse and donkey is actually known as mule. So here option number C, that is mule, will be the correct answer. Moving forward, what is the chromosome number in a human ovum? If I talk about the chromosome number in the human ovum, this means we are talking about that haploid. That means we'll be talking about 23 over here. In the similar manner, if I talk about the sperm, again for the sperm as well, we have 23. So this 23 and 23 actually gives us 46. So let's have a look. Is there any option that is 23? No. And hence option number D, that is none of these would be the correct answer. So this was the question which was actually developed in such a manner that a student will directly click 46 and move forward thinking that he is correct. But no, this question is just for human ovum, and for human ovum only we will be having 23. So yes, option number D would be correct. I'll be writing the correct answer. The correct answer is 23 over here. So here, there's a next question. Of the total number of genes inherited by a child, so is it more from the father, or is it more from the mother, or there's no such fixed numbers? Please remember, it's equal with father and mother, and hence there's an option. There are an equal number from each of the parent. That's true. We have discussed about it, correct? So yes, all these were the important questions. Then there's the next question: by which of the following the sex of a child is actually determined before the birth? So before the birth, it is the sperm of the father that is determining it, because we are having XY over here and here is it XX. So it totally depends whether we are getting X or whether we are getting Y, so that we can understand whether it would be XX or XY. So if it is XY, it would be male. If it is XX, then it would be female. So it's the sperm of father that determines it. So option number A is going to be the correct answer. Then the drone in honeybee are, so if I'll talk about the drone in honeybee, they are fertile males who are actually fertilizing the egg of a queen honeybee. Then breeding and management of bees is known as what? So if I talk about the breeding and management of the bees, it is actually known as apiculture. So yes, apiculture is the correct answer. If I talk about the sericulture, it would be the formation of cells. Fine. So yes, these were the important things. So we'll meet you tomorrow morning. We'll meet tomorrow morning at what? At 12. That is, we can talk about the afternoon, where we'll be having previous year questions of all the SSC examinations, including CPO, then CHSL is there. Many examinations. So I'll be waiting for you all at 12 tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Please take care.